All right, so I had somebody ask me recently about handguard length on shorter barreled ARs and things like this, and kind of like how to mount a suppressor, how long your handguard should be for mounting a suppressor to get it kind of close without making it interfere. So I've got a few lined up right here. I'm going to show you kind of how long the barrel is, how long the handguard is, and how close the suppressor mounts. So let's take a look at them. All right, so this right here is an 8.3 inch 300 blackout with a BCM MCR7. So it's really like 7, a little bit more than 7, because this little cutout right here. So the back of the barrel being 8.3 is to the end of the crown. We've got about a 1/2 inch of threads. So the shoulder is actually right there. So when you put your flash suppressor and then you mount your silencer to it, you're actually mounting it pretty close to where the threads start. So if you give yourself, about an inch or so of gap between 8.3 and 7.4, you should have plenty of room to mount however wide a suppressor you want, especially with some of these narrower handguards, because there's not a lot of room for anything to go inside of them. This right here is a 10.3 inch barrel with a 10 inch ALG EMR handguard. And you can see with a 10.3 and a 10, the shoulder is actually inside the handguard. That's why I had to get a Reardon Atlas, which kind of like pushes it forward. So that way it barely fits inside there. This is a little bit wider handguard, so the Atlas fits in there just nice. You can see how tight that is. This right here is a BCA Bear Creek. I think it's like a 5-inch barrel with like a 4-inch handguard. So you can see that is the Reardon Atlas, and that is the Reardon flash suppressor, or the mount. So you can see got about a 1/2 inch difference between the handguard and the shoulder of the barrel. That gives you a little bit more. That Reardon Atlas kind of pushes out because it's got that little step. And then like this is a Wolfpack Low Pro. It's pretty much as flush as you can get it. So all right, so here we have them unmounted, so you can see how far in that shoulder is up under that handguard. You can see kind of how the Reardon kind of goes inside there when it mounts. This is a Wolfpack flash hider on the 300 blackout. You've got the Wolfpack flush mount. You can see, where the threads are compared to where the shoulder is. This is a Reardon flash hider with a Reardon Atlas, so you can kind of see how it mounts, what it looks like underneath. So either way, if you give yourself like an inch of clearance between the handguard and the barrel, any way you want to do it, you should be able to mount whatever you want, whether it's a flush like that or a Reardon Atlas that kind of pokes out. Hope that helps.